Hello and welcome to another edition of the Manager's Video Blog here in the City of Latrobe. I'm Alex Graziani, your City Manager, and thank you for taking the time to watch this short segment about what's going on in the city. I have a great opportunity, that is, to work here in the City of Latrobe. It's been a joy. I've only been here about 19 months, and I've tried to describe to myself, to people, what is that like, being the City Manager, and how do you describe what little experience you have in it? So I thought to myself, I'm a lot like a 19-month-old. For those of you who've had children, you know what a 19-month-old is. You wouldn't want to wear a 19-month-old shirt after they're done eating. And though they can walk, they're not really good at it. And sometimes that's how I feel like as the city manager for just 19 months. But I've been working with local governments for about 20 years now, and I've never ceased to amaze about the dedication of public employees and public servants and all the best that goes on with that. In fact, I just got done having a meeting with the entire police department here of Latrobe. It was a mandatory meeting where they all had to come in. Some of them came on their days off and met with me, and we had a very productive meeting about how to take a good department and go to great. And it was good feedback. We do have a good police force here in town, a highly trained, highly skilled, dedicated force that is set with the mission to protect and serve here in the city of Latrobe. And I'm very proud of them. I'm also proud of the workers that volunteer, even for our firemen, and the work that they do, and just outstanding. On average, about 8 folks show up to calls in this town, which is a good number. About 80 active volunteer firemen are involved in the fire companies across the city, and many more who are inactive members but have been lifelong members and have had their years of service as well. Up at Public Works, we've got a great crew that's been doing a lot of overtime these days with the salt shifts going on. We haven't had a lot of snow this year, but what we've had is a lot of messy events that have required them to come out in the middle of the night or in the evening to get some salt out. In fact, we're about a 30 or so percent, or maybe more, through our salt for the year. So that's quite a bit of salt that we've used, and hopefully spring will spring here soon, and we'll get into that. But one of the things I'm excited about just sharing with you today is, and again, a neat part of my job is learning about other towns and other communities. And throughout this position, I've found that there's another place called Latrobe. There's actually 2 in Australia. One in the island of Tasmania, which is south of Melbourne, and a new city formed in the year 2000, about 75 miles east of Melbourne on the southern coast of Australia. And what I'm really excited about is we're starting a little bit of an exchange program. In fact, I'm going to be sending to them a care package here pretty soon with some objects of Latrobe. Here, of course, we got the neighborhood trolley for Fred Rogers, and we want to welcome them at least to our neighborhood vicariously. And a couple hats, a fire police and the city of police hat as well, are some of the things we'll be sharing with them. But we'll be sharing with them a little bit, of course, Arnold Palmer and the history we have with the golf legend. And it's kind of neat to have the cultural exchange. The reality is the world is a lot flatter and smaller place than it ever was in the past. We're no longer competing among regions or other cities within Pennsylvania, but we're competing among states and nations. People can locate their business or their family and be able to do their business from almost any place in the world, whether that's Australia and the southern coast of Melbourne, or out here in southwestern Pennsylvania outside of Pittsburgh. And it's important, not only that, but that the exchange of peoples is rapidly changing. We call it in America the browning of America. In fact, whites will no longer be, very soon, the majority of this country. The browning of America means that there are more immigrants in this country. There are more people that English is not their primary language. There will be many more people who speak 2 or more languages. And a lot of people who have had international and other experiences abroad. And so the world's getting a lot smaller. And for a city like Latrobe, which is a very special neighborhood in the world, it's important that we reach out. We look beyond our boundaries and we see ourselves as a part of the larger global community, larger Pennsylvania community, larger southwestern Pennsylvania community. We mentioned police earlier. We're looking at opportunities to branch out our police services. Maybe there will be a day where the city of Latrobe's police force is contracting services with Unity Township or with Derry Township, saving Derry Township taxpayers money and Unity Township taxpayers money while providing for them high levels of services. Maybe there are ways where the Unity Township or Derry Township work crews do work in the city on contractual service basis. So you know, again, to save taxpayer money, but it also provide high quality service. You know, going on in the future, the world's a much bigger place than just what we see here in Latrobe. And it's exciting because even with this video, some of you may be watching from Alabama or from other parts. You're expatriates to Latrobe. You're people who grew up here and your heart is still here. And you just want to tune in to see what's going on, so you've checked out Latrobe TV. And I'm glad you've taken a moment to do that. And I'm glad to have this chance to share with you. Just a couple quick notes on what's going on here in the city. You know, Jack teased me about having my cheat sheets. Not only are we working on an agreement to provide services for St. Vincent College Police Services, but we're also looking at issues at the transfer station. Again, that's an ongoing discussion. We're completing parking issues here as we get more meters into the garage and hopefully open up the elevator here in the next few weeks. We're also looking at how we deal with our pensions. I know a lot of people hear a lot about pensions, but we're working on how we do our pensions here locally. Just so you know, the pensions for the uniform and non-uniform personnel here in the city are very healthy and have been well managed over the years, and we look forward to doing that into the future. And lastly, we're also tracking with issues like sequestration, maybe whether the federal government does that, and the potential impact to our airport, as well as an issue with the Amtrak. We have a Pennsylvania service that runs between Harrisburg and Pittsburgh. And of concern to us is that the Commonwealth is being asked to contribute about $5.7 million to subsidize the route to keep it open beginning October 2013. If PennDOT chooses not to do that, it could result in the termination of that line. The question, of course, is does PennDOT have the resources to do that? And can we substantiate having the Amtrak line here in town? So there's a lot of issues going on. Never a dull moment here at City Hall. Of course, would encourage you to come to the municipal meetings. They're at 6:30 on the second and fourth Mondays of the month up here at City Council Chambers. Please drop me an email. I would love to hear what you have to say. Or just come down to City Hall. This is truly the people's building, and you're welcome to come and visit my office or see what's going on down here anytime. If you want to send me an email, the link will be provided here with the video blog, and I'd love to hear from you. With that, thanks, and maybe the future blog will have again maybe one of the mayor candidates join us. Look forward to that. Stay tuned. Thank you.